With legal updates and more, this is Pro Wrestling Central. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Back in July, Vince McMahon was involved in a car accident, striking a woman's vehicle with his car going between 80 to 90 miles per hour. McMahon was being tailed by a state trooper for speeding and weaving through traffic. Yesterday, McMahon could be seen heading into court, as he has reached an agreement in this reckless driving case. TMZ reports that McMahon will participate in an accelerated pretrial rehabilitation program. He will donate $1,000 to charity and comply with traffic laws to see this case be dismissed in October of next year. Recently, former WWE and ECW star Justin Credible claimed he was in a car accident and was hospitalized. Now the story is in question, with accusations of this whole ordeal being a means to scam fans. On the Storytime podcast, James Romero discussed this with Dutch Mantel, saying, "Well, let me see if I can read it. Okay, Justin Credible, October 6th. How many replies did he get? 91. We're going to get through the actual post itself. Everyone just saying he's a scammer. None of the electrodes are hooked up to anything. This may sound mean, but people are saying he's scamming person after person, using friends and family payments, so there's no recourse. So he isn't in this one claiming he's in a hospital bed. But what he is doing, let's get the picture bigger. He's still got these EKG stickers on him, right? Which, if he was in the hospital, he's obviously just left on. But here's the thing, in the middle photo, he's clearly taken one off and reapplied it because you can see the residue where it was originally. He's obviously trying to get sympathy points, especially with the crucifix thing. The background looks like a motel room, which, yes, keep that in mind. In fact, we're going to get into why that's ridiculous. Now, the next post, just a couple after that, says he's literally trying to get a motel for the night and asking people to message him if they can help. I don't know if he's assuming we think he's not already in a motel room, but that's not a hospital bed. It's a motel bed. So in one post, he claims he was discharged from the hospital, and in the next, he's asking for motel money while clearly already in a motel room. He's wearing a hat sideways like he's 12, still trying for sympathy. But here's what really gets me. In the middle post, he's talking about needing money for gas and tolls. He doesn't even have a car. He said he was in an accident and posted pictures of a completely wrecked car. Look at that car. There's no way anyone's driving it anywhere. It's totaled and being towed. So what does he need gas money for? And as for tolls, in Pennsylvania, they take a picture of your license plate and bill you later, so you don't need toll money either. He doesn't have a car, and if that's his, it's destroyed. Even if it somehow ran, he couldn't legally drive it, and he doesn't need motel money because he's already in one. There are holes all over this story, from start to finish. He's trying to scam people again. Now, Stevie Richards, who's a friend of Justin Credible, PJ Polacco, said he thought about calling him but decided not to because he knew how it would go. PJ would answer and start guilt-tripping him into sending money, saying Stevie owed him for YouTube videos they did about him. Stevie didn't want to deal with that. And now Justin is complaining that no one's calling or messaging him saying, "You find out who your real friends are in this business. They only want something from you," which honestly is the most ironic statement of all. When it comes to plans in WWE for AJ Styles, who has mentioned retiring next year, Lucha Libre Online wrote this: WWE is expected to hold a sort of retirement tour for AJ Styles in 2026. This will be the phenomenal one's last year as an active competitor in the ring. It's beautiful to see that WWE is giving him the opportunity to say goodbye on his own terms and conditions. In regards to this, Dave Meltzer had previously said this on Wrestling Observer Radio: there is a plan in play for how to handle AJ Styles' retirement in 2026. It's not fully locked in or anything, but the idea is we're gonna do something. So yeah, they believe he's retiring next year. Providing an update on Jacob Fatu's health, Ringside News wrote that after his return to WWE television on the September 26th episode of SmackDown, Jacob Fatu looked ready to shake things up. But fresh details suggest fans might not be seeing the Samoan werewolf in action for quite a while. In an update from Bodyslam.net, it's been revealed that Fatu is currently dealing with a non-wrestling related injury. According to sources close to the situation, the issue is serious enough to potentially sideline him well into 2026. This news confirms earlier speculation that emerged when Cody Rhodes, also of Bodyslam, posted a cryptic tweet with a gif of Fatu and the message, "The bug strikes another." At the time, no official injury had been announced, and WWE was still promoting Fatu's match against Drew McIntyre for the October 17th edition of SmackDown. The two had just ignited a physical feud following a chaotic brawl on the October 10th episode. Despite that scheduled bout, sources now say Fatu's injury has quietly changed WWE's plans. There's been no formal comment from WWE, but with this new backstage report, it looks like Fatu's absence could stretch for many months. If true, this is a major blow, not just for Fatu, but for SmackDown as a whole. His explosive energy, menacing presence, and deep ties to the Anoa'i family had him pegged as a breakout force for WWE's future storylines. Whether this detour slows his momentum or sets the stage for an even bigger return down the road remains to be seen. Giving his take on the best possible final opponent for John Cena, Peter Rosenberg told Chris Van Vliet Edge is the guy. I mean, again, I don't know exactly what his deal is. I know there's been some speculation that it could be up, maybe. Yeah, of the ones that could happen, of the ones that are remotely possible, Edge would be the one. Listen, it's Edge or Randy for John's top opponent of all time. Sure, I know people can say Rock, and there's Punk, and there's good reason to say them both, but to me, peak John Cena, true champ babyface Cena, Super Cena, Edge was the foil, and Edge was such a great foil. So to me, of the ones that are out there that exist even more than Batista, it should be Edge. But again, we just have no idea. Talking about Cena's previous heel turn and siding with The Rock, Rosenberg added, I mean, listen, I absolutely adore the man, and he's doing an incredible job. I was not satisfied with that moment. There's only one way to clean that moment up. That moment can only be cleaned up with The Rock. That's the only way you can make sense of it all, if Rocky and John go one more time. Otherwise, I just don't see what we're going to do, because I agree with you. While Andrade was fired from WWE and quickly made his return to AEW, he has since been pulled from company programming and is seemingly canceling other appearances for independent promotions. Ringside News wrote that, according to PW Insider, the word making its way through lucha circles is that Andrade may be contractually blocked from wrestling for up to 1 year, following his WWE termination. The belief is that this is due to an alleged breach of his WWE deal, and the clause could only be lifted if successfully challenged in court. Brian Alvarez said this regarding the new contracts in WWE. We have confirmed through multiple sources that the new TKO contracts have a clause where if you were fired, there is a 1-year non-compete. The older contracts had this, but it's standard now. This is the holdup involving Andrade. Very skeptical this would hold up in a legal battle, but it's in the contracts. When it comes to Andrade potentially fighting this in court, Fightful Select reported, a number of people have indicated to Fightful Select that Andrade has a very good lawyer, but didn't specify if he was fighting it. PW Insider added, the 90-day period is often referred to as non-compete, but is actually more of a notice of contract expiration as talent get paid. PW Insider reported that Andrade would not be getting paid during that 90 days, but we've not confirmed that, and would be very easy to fight in court. Touching on how Andrade's sudden absence has affected AEW's creative plans, Fightful Select said AEW sources say this absence did affect immediate creative plans for AEW Dynamite and Wrestle Dream. However, there appears to be no bad blood towards Andrade, and the working plan is still for him to compete in AEW when the situation is cleared up. up. John Alba was able to speak with the AEW president about this issue as he wrote this on X. "I asked Tony Khan about Andrade's current situation with AEW. He says he had high praise of Andrade when he left AEW in 2023. I followed up and asked directly if he was under contract, and they were aware of a WWE non-compete. Said that was all he could say at this time." Speaking about Andrade's potential non-compete clause with WWE, which could prevent him from wrestling for another promotion for a year, Michael Morales of Lucha Libre Online said 6 months to 2 years is considered reasonable under Connecticut, Florida, and U.S. federal law. Non-compete clauses aren't forever. They have to be for a specific, reasonable period. 1 year is a rational contractual penalty. You agreed to it when you signed, but note it's not that you'll go a year without pay. WWE, for one reason or another, depending on the contract, must provide fair compensation during that period. You can't have a non-compete without compensation, otherwise it's technically slavery, and slavery isn't legal in the US or anywhere else. Now, about Andrade's case. There's talk that Andrade has a 90-day non-compete, but unpaid. Let me make this distinction clear. If you're under a non-compete clause, you're in a non-contractual status. Your contract ended. Different is a 90-day suspension without pay. That's still under contract. If there is a non-compete clause, you're no longer under contract, just bound by that penalty. So if you're suspended 90 days without pay, you're still employed. You come back after. But if it's a non-compete, the contract is over, and you must be compensated for that restricted period. If it's a full year without pay, that's illegal. This isn't Central Africa, where weird laws exist. This is the United States, and that's illegal. You must pay that 1 year non-compete period. So again, WWE can impose the 1 year clause, but they must pay for it. If they tell Andrade your contract's still active, you'll sit out 3 months unpaid, then 9 months unpaid, that's illegal. Technicalities make all the difference. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.